Hey, it's me, Riker. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new season of the Eye of Gold. Now, this is a resource gathering and pillaging event. So, how do we do this? We have to build buildings around in the outer edge of our island. We can build resource, defensive, and offensive buildings. So, some of the resources that you can gather include dust, EXP, Poe coins, labyrinth tokens, guild coins, and diamonds. Now, you can only choose 4 out of the 6 resources that I have mentioned. So as you can see, these are the resources that I'm harvesting from my island, and these are the resources that I have pillaged from other islands. So some of the other rewards that you can get, each time you level up your buildings or build new buildings, you can get some of these rewards. So you can get purple stones, elemental shards for engravings, Poe coins, signature item upgrades, elemental cores for engravings, and the final level 6 reward, 10 stargazing scrolls. So another very important effect is this morale. On a successful pillage, each point increases the pillaged resources by 21.5%. So when you, for example, when you have pillaged another island, say 100 diamonds, you'll be able to increase this by a further 150%, where you can return with an additional 250 diamonds from that single pillaged attempt. In addition, you can see all the buffs that you are getting when you are pillaging. So as you can see, this increases my morale. Then certain offensive buildings increase my attack rating, as can be seen here. These are from these 3 flowers, which have very special effects. So some of these flowers, such as the crimson flower, will increase the amount of dice rolls by 2, and at level 10, 3 additional dice rolls. In addition, this flower gives me more attack rating when attacking other islands, making it much easier to attack. Now, this is very helpful if, for example, you encounter certain dice reducing rolls or buildings. So this is extremely helpful to counter that effect. Then you have the energy flower. At level 5 and level 10, when pillaging, your morale won't drop below 4, and level 10 at level 8. So this essentially increases the amount of resources that you can get from pillaging. And the prayer flower, once again, increases your attack rating. And the level 5 and 10, your max morale is +3, and your max morale at level 10 is +7. So we also have defensive buildings. So we do this by rolling our dice, and as you can see, it upgraded one of our buildings. So as can be seen here, you can either build a building on that specific tower, or you can level it up, or you can rebuild it for another building. So these are one of the 3 towers that you can build: energy tower, radiation, and omnis. I would recommend, if you would like to get the energy tower, this increases the level of towers next to it by 2 levels. This is very effective, especially on your defensive towers and your pillaging towers as well. The other 2 towers I do not recommend, as their buffs that they provide you are not strong enough. Then we have the extremely defensive towers, Tablet of Death, Inertia Stone, and Enmity Stone. So the Tablet of Death is extremely powerful, as this reduces the amount of resources being pillaged. So as can be seen, it reduces the morale by -2 and -4 when landed on. In addition to this, when enemies land on this tower, they will also have the damage dealt to them increased by a total of 5%. This can be increased with the level, depending on the level that you have this tower at. Then we have the 3 flowers that I mentioned. I only recommend one of each of these flowers, as their effects, such as increasing their dice rolls, does not stack. Then this tower is extremely powerful, the Fountain of Blessing. This increases your morale So you can get this to extremely high values where you can get to triple to even 5 times the amount of resources extra because of this single tower. So at level 5, during battles, +2 for each morale for each blessed hero. So you can select which hero will be blessed. So you can select intelligence, strength, or agility based heroes. And this will essentially increase the morale and the amount of resources pillaged. So if you would like to rebuild the tower, you can do that as well. However, this takes up a dice roll. So I'm going to choose to level up one of my towers. There we go. It's going to increase from level 2 to level 3. So you just roll your dice and you can select which tower you would like to upgrade. I would highly recommend that you get all of your resource towers to level 10, as this essentially is the maximum benefit and secondary benefits of the towers that they can provide. However, levels do not affect the amount that you can harvest per hour. This remains the same if it's a level 1 or this is a level 30 tower. So I would highly recommend leveling up your defensive towers, as some of them can be extremely strong. So let's finish up our dice rolls. There we go. We gained an additional pillage attempt. I'm going to level up this tower to level 5. Also, you can hold in the dice for slightly longer. This will have a chance to increase the roll of your dice. So there we go. I'm going to level up my resource tower and let's pillage another island. So when you pillage another island, you can refresh it to see the enemies, whether they are stronger or weaker than the ones that you currently have. So as I can see, this island has extremely strong enemies. So you can simply refresh until you get a slightly easier island to defeat. So you can have a look at all of your opponent's heroes. And there are multiple ways that you can build your island. So I built a mix of both defensive and offensive. As you can see, for example, this island, all the buildings at the beginning are defensive buildings. This will essentially increase the amount of damage my allies take and reducing the amount of dice rolls that I can roll. So as you can see, the maximum can be a 4. So if I start on this island over here, as you always will, you'll essentially only be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 to this patch over here. So you can refresh this a total of 5 times per day, and you can increase this with diamonds. So there we go, an island I can pillage. So I want to just have a look at my opponents. There we go, and you can click pillage. So now once you're happy, you can roll a dice. There we go, my first attempt. So now you can select your allies. So there we go. You can also have pre-built formations, so you don't have to select your teams. So you can have, for example, your Ainz team versus their slightly weaker team and your weaker team against their stronger team. There we go, victory. And now you'll gain 2 resources that you can see over here. My morale is 8, so you can see the base value. And now this is further increased by my morale, and this is the additional resources that I can get. There we go. Let's continue to the next tile. So all that you have to do is just keep on rolling your dice until all of your attempts have finished. There we go. And let's begin battle. So as I mentioned before, when I started the battle, my morale was 8. However, certain buildings will reduce this, and you have to keep this in mind when you're fighting your opponents. There we go. We saw the starting amount, and when we also saw what amount my morale also was able to give me. There we go. I'm going to attack this opponent as well. So you can only attack your opponent once. So once you have landed on their island, you can only harvest or pillage from that specific tile once. So if you land on the same tile multiple times, you'll only be able to attack them the first time that you have harvested them. All right, so now to the next dice roll. There we go. We can see the morale taking effect. That's why I mentioned if you have more dice rolls, you can go multiple rounds around the island and pillage all of their resource building. So at the end, you can see the resource that you got.